Among every world, among every timeline, among everything you can imagine in different worlds, people are there to guide you through stories, guide you through timelines. Welcome to the Blue Mask What If channel. Hello everybody, this is Blue Mask and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys will enjoy. Let's begin. Where we last left off, Hestia just announced the plan of, going back into the dungeon. It's been 2 days since the meeting, and Belle and Lucy was in the courtyard of the former home of Zeus and Hera. Now it's called the Hearth Mansion. Right now, we see Belle, Lucy, and 4 other people in the courtyard getting ready for something. When they hear footsteps coming down to the training area, they turn around to see some few people arriving, being the Loki Familia higher-ups and the Takemichi Familia. It seems like there's not a lot of people that want to join the hunt. You say it. You said it. Anyways. Bell stood up from where he was crouching looking at something on a table. A tarp or that was on the ground holding something. I don't know what the name is. Bell walked over to the group that has arrived, being Finn, Gareth, Eyes, Beat, Tyona from the Loki Familia, and the others being Mikoto, Ocker, I am saying Otter instead of Lord. Odd Oka, Oda, or whatever his name is. Those 2 arrived from the Miek or Takes Familia, and the others from the higher ups. There are also some few members of the Loki Familia behind, and the 2 males from Takes Familia as well. That was behind the others. Bell stood up and, with Lucy by his side, walked over to the group that has arrived in the training area. Hello everyone, and thank you for coming. Everyone saw what Belle and Lucy was wearing. Belle and Lucy are actually wearing the new outfit from Wilds. I will explain what outfit they are wearing. Belle had this hoodie up. Let me just get a picture. God damn it. Sorry. Alright. Belle was wearing a long coat like jacket that was. Shit. Sorry. Long coat like jacket with some pieces with green and a black looking cloth with a hood like on his head with a cap, a hat that has a cap or a yeah cap. I think it's called. Damn, it's a hat. It's a cap. Hat cap. I don't know. With some fuel on the head. Bell was also wearing a little claw thing on his hands. His boots were made, some of it at the knees and foot was some metal parts as well. It's the outfit you see in the trailers. And Lucy was wearing same to Lucy was wearing the same kind of material as Belle, with some shorts instead of long pants. She was wearing shorts with high boots on her feet, with a little mask around her neck that has the same kind of look as Belle's hat. As what she was wearing. Anyways, all right, I know you're all here to know about the hunt and everything else. I want to know if some of the your other members has gone to know about the handlers. I think it's called the handlers because in world the person you talk to and everything is called the handler, right? Anyways, some of your people are going out to learn about the handler role, right? Finn walked over and talked to Belle. Yes, indeed. Some of our members has gone over to know about the handler role. Ah, that's great. We have also blacksmith you can talk to know about things. Anyways, before Belle could continue, another group arrived in the training area, and Belle turned to see it was the Freya Familia coming a little bit later. Oh, I thought you wouldn't, well, do this. Belle yelled to Utter and his Familia. Our goddess says that it will be a good training opportunity to know about different fighting styles and weapons. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Anyways, me, Lucy, and these four other people behind us, we will introduce you to in a little bit, will help you train in different kind of weapons. I will do some. Lucy will tell you about some others. All right. Let me introduce. Belle walked behind him and stood behind two people that actually looks like him, but two different. These are two of my little siblings. This is Julie and Jack. They're both twins. They also knows a bunch about weapons, and these guys are level 3. So please take their advice literally. They have been hunting for half a month by 6 months by now before we have to leave. All all of them nod. The two twins waved at the others and introduced themselves. Hi, my name is Jack. I am, well, Big Brother's Belle's little brother. I'm also, well, a backline fighter, so I will mostly be in the background helping others with some other things. So is my sister. Hi, my name is Julie. I'm a more quick-witted fighter, background fighter that will help you out in the front and the back as much as I can. And these two, Lucy walks behind two twins that also looks like her. is Hannah and Harper. No, Harper. I got the name. It's Hitoshi and Hannah. Yes, you know where it's from. The I had to do this again. And these two are Hitoshi and Hannah. Hello, my name is, well, Hitoshi. I'm a frontliner or a midliner fighter. So I will help you there with my sister that is also that. Yes, but little difference as well. That is good, you two. Anyways, Belle stood up and walked in front of everyone. Let's start what I can help you guys with. So, first of all, Belle walked over to where some stuff was lying and picked up a weapon. Let's start with one of the easier one. Belle showed them a huge sword with two hands. A sword that had a curved blade on the side and it looks like a handle on the blade itself. But it looks like it had protection where if a blade was about to hit it. It's the default sword from Monster Hunter Wild. This is a great sword. I know it may look. This is a great sword, and if you choose this weapon, you will start with this. I know it will be shocking and everything else, but you have to start with one of the, well, a starter weapon. You have to hunt monsters and get their materials, and then you can upgrade your weapons. That's the rules. I cannot change them. And let me show you how to use it. Alright, so I will literally pause here so you can follow me along. But I want you, all of you that is watching, go to the Monster Hunter or search. I want you guys to search up Monster Hunter Wild's weapons and press where Catcom has linked and where you can check out the weapons. Because I want you guys to play that video itself, because that is what Belle will show everyone. But imagine when the monster showed up, it's the cat training machine that cat training machine that they're using in the training area. So I want you guys to watch that video right now and imagine what I just said in that. Are you done? All right. Sorry about that. Belle put the great sword on his back and turned to the others that was watching him. That is what exactly I will show you how to do. How to use the weapons correctly and how to use what we call a weapons buff. It's a sort of thing hunters do with their weapons. You all saw the white and red glowing that was coming off of me when I was charging up, right? Everyone nods at this and Belle just continued. That was not a skill or anything else. These weapons are made of some materials that will help you fight. It's a weird thing that always happens and no one knows why. Anyways, Bells walked over to where he picked up the greatsword and picked up another weapon. Belle walks back to the other. This showing the default default switch axe in Monster Hunter World Wild is a switch axe. I will show you how to use it and how to switch from its axe mode. Bell immediately just hit the switch to turn it into the greatsword mode and into the sword mode. That's why we call it the switch axe. Anyways, I want you guys that is watching this video do the same thing again on your phone or the computer, whatever you're doing, and click the video that's showing the switch axe. I know this is lazy for me to do, but I just think it better if I will show you to a video instead of me just telling you how they're doing it. You are done with the video? Alright, let's continue. Bell put the weapons by his side and turned to the people that was watching him in awe and surprise. That is all that you can do with the switch axe. It's a special weapon and it is a heavy weapon, but it can be very light on its feet. It can be quick and strike hard as well. Anyways, Bell walked over and to the place where he took their weapons and took out two small blades. I actually also use is most likely, if you see me hunt, you most likely see me using the switch axe or dual blades. Bell showed the dual blades he was holding and started to talk. Well, the dual blades was my first weapon, but I'm also more of a heavy guy, so I mostly use that to take down heavier monsters and everything else. But I will show you how it works. Bell turned around and started to show them again. I will have you go to the video, to the dual blades, and press the video so you can see it. Bell stops his show demonstrate demonstration of how to use the dual blades. So, like I said, or if you didn't hear, the dual blades are much quicker weapons that I use for if I want to move faster than usual. Bell put his blades on his back and walked towards Lucy that was walking towards the group with something on her back. Alright, it's my turn to show my specialities. My most used weapon of mine is shield and sword. It's like the normal ones, but sometimes it can be heavily different. Let me show you. Lucy turned around and went over to the monster machine. I want you guys to go to the sword and shield and press on the video. Are you done? Alright. After Lucy showed everyone how she uses a sword and shield, she walked over to where the weapons were and picked up a longer sword. Also, like Bell, I uses more heavier weapons, but I prefer the lighter weapon. A lighter weapon. I'm not heavily into dual blades because I want to protect myself when I'm at a shorter or range. But when I want to go into the heavier weapons, I mostly choose the long sword. It's like a normal sword, but like a katana, but it has some few more abilities. Let me show you that. Lucy turned around and immediately went over to the machine and started fighting it. I want you guys. Again, I'm sorry, but it's much easier just to show you the video and me not getting copyright strike. I'm kind of bad at fights, but I really enjoy this. I want you to go to the longsword and press that video. Are you finished? Alright, let's continue. Lucy went back to the group that was kind of surprised at her movability or how she fights. That's how the long sword works. It's a special kind of sword with if you get different materials and everything else, but especially it's just a long sword. Anyways, if I want to, I mostly carry around a other weapon that's more on the heavier side, but if I need to knock that monster down quicker. Lucy went over to pick up the hammer. The hammer is kind of a heavier weapons on one side, but it can do a heavy punch to others. Let me show you. Lucy turned around again to walk over to the machine. I want you guys to go to the hammer and press the video. You are done? I hope you enjoy this because I really enjoying just showing off these videos that Catcoms releases to everyone. All right. Lucy turned around and saw everyone and how they look at every single weapon that was showing off. All right. These are most of the weapon I use, so I hope you guys enjoyed my showing of them. All right. Hitoshi, Hannah, do you mind showing off your weapons? Let's get the difficult weapons that's more technological at last, in the last places. Sure. All right, sis. Both of them walked over with, well, a weapon they can show off. Do you want me or you to go first? You can go first, Shinzo. All right. Shinzo walked forwards and stood in front of them. So, like I said, I am Hitoshi Romeo, and I mostly help my familiar members and my family with the hunting horn. Hitoshi pulled out, well, showed them the hunting horn and starting explaining it. It's like a hammer and the heavier weapon, but when you attack, you kind of play music on it. Let me show you, like my cousin and my sister did with her weapons. Hitoshi walked over to the machine and started to, well, show the weapon off. I want you to go to the videos and go to the hunting horn and press the video. Oh, by the way, I actually noticed that when you play the video, there is actually text under it. Yeah, that is actually uh give me the text that's actually in the video is actually them explaining the weapons and everything else. So that's why I actually chose those videos because it's more easier. Hitoshi went over. went back to the others and stood there. That is, well, my primary weapons that Hannah doesn't actually use. Hannah nodded and walked in front when Shinichiro went back. Alright, my weapon I usually use is. Hannah showed off a, well, shield and a sword. That's called the charge blade. This is called the charge blade. It's more mechanical, but it do it's a shield and a sword, but it can be a different kind of weapon. Let me show you. It's more easier to explain. Hannah turned around and rushes towards the machine quickly. I want you guys to do the same again. Go to charge blade and press the video. You're done? Alright, let's begin. Let's continue, I mean. Hannah jumped back from the machine and turned to the others that was surprised about the weapon. Yeah, it's a difficult weapon to learn, but it's a very, very satisfying when you use it correctly. Hannah walked over to Shinso that had already picked up another weapon and walked forward. So this weapon me and Hannah actually uses, well, both of us use this weapon as well. Shinzo showed off a huge lance with a shield. This is the lance. Me and Hannah usually use this to fight off monsters if we don't have a hunting horn or a charged blade. Let me show you how we use it. Shinzo turned around and started to show off how to use the lance. I want you to go to the lance and press the video. Alright? You have paused the video or you're done right now. Anyways, Shinzo landed when walked back to the others that was looking at this. It's a, well, heavy weapon as well, but it's satisfying to use as well. Hannah walked over with a spear in her hand. This is the insect glade. The insect glade. It's a weapon that actually uses these little things. Hannah picked the insect that was on her arm. And. Ooh, sorry. Two girls screamed out, this being Mikoto and. Chigusa. Oh, it seems like you two don't like bigger bugs. Both of them yelled at the same time. That terrifies us! Alright, good to know, but don't worry, these guys only hurt monsters. Let me show you how it works. Hannah turned around and was walking quickly towards the machine. You know the deal. Go to Insect Glade and press the video. You are done? Good, let's continue. Hannah jumped back and stood in front of everyone. See, that's how we use the Insect Glade. It's a difficult weapon to learn, but very, very helpful. Lucy clapped her hands at her siblings and, well, said to them they did good. Both of them smiled and walked back. This time being, well, Julie and John, or Julie and Jack, I think I called them. Sorry, it's been a day since I named them. Julie and Jack walked over to all of them and stood there with two things on the backs. Alright, so, these two me and Hannah already uses. We both use the same kind of weapons, but Hannah will go first with this weapon. Hannah nodded and turned to everyone. So, Hannah pulled the weapons off and showed everyone. This is called the light bow gun. It's a mechanical bow that has a well, you can fire it and it's easier to show than explain the mechanics. Hannah turned around and stood there pointing the weapon at, well, the monster. You can see the video. You can go to Lightbow and press the video. Alright, you're done. Let's continue. Hannah turned to the others that was surprised at what it could do. Yeah, it's a special kind of weapon, but I really enjoy it. My turn. Jack walked forward and showed the heavier bowgun. This is called the heavier bowgun. It's a more powerful weapons and can't be moved. Well, you can't move quickly with the weapons. This weapon. Let me show you how it works. It's kind of the same, but a lot different. Jack walked to where, well, Julie was standing and started to show off the weapons. You know the drill. Go to heavy bowgun and press the video. Let's continue. When Jack was done with the heavy bowgun, everyone was surprised of how heavy that was. Yeah, it's a heavier weapon, but it's very enjoyable too if you are a long way range weaponry. Wait, fuck. No, it was only Mikoto that screamed and fried when she saw the bug. Chigusa's somewhere else. Lucy walked back with something on her back and showed it off. This is the gun lance. Yeah, you probably thought that Jack is gonna use this kind of weapon, but no, he's more of a background supporter, if you can say that. Hey, shut up. We both know it. Fine. Julie smiled at everyone and turned around to show everyone how to use it. Go to Gunlands, press the video, and then we can continue. You done? Alright. I hope you guys really enjoy seeing those videos and explaining all the weapons because I really enjoy looking at every single one of them. Jack walked forward with the last weapon on, well, the training list. Alright, so this, Jack showed off the bigger bow to the others. This is just a bow. It's just a regular bow, but with special kind of arrows. Let me show you guys that. Jack turned around and started to show off the weapons. You know the drill. You're done? Alright, let's continue. Jack turned around and put the weapon, well, on his back. That is how we use the bowgun. That's how I use the bow. The bow and how I fired it. After that, wait, did I fucking say Suku instead of Bell? Damn it, I'm an idiot. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Bell walked back towards the group and stood in front of his siblings with Lucy standing beside him and Hannah and Hitoshi standing beside Lucy and Julie and Jack standing beside Belle. So that's how we showed off all the weapons. I hope you guys will, well, be excited to use this because For right now, we have to get some more hunters. We have to train some of you guys up to help us in the dungeon. Ice raised her hands to ask a question. What do you mean by that? Well, right now, our some of the former Zeus and Hera Familia members that's in the Hestia Familia needs to do important things around the Orario. There's only a few of us that hasn't explored the dungeon, and the older members want us to explore it without their help. Is that safe? Oh, well, it's kind of a tradition to just throw us out there. Yeah, it kind of is. Hannah just got a chill down her spine. I was kind of afraid of Mom when she did that to me and Hitoshi back then. Yeah, that was kind of frightening being in the Guardian place. Hmm? Nothing. Anyways, I. Anyways, ignore my cousins. So, which weapon do you want to choose? So, if you want to do the great sword, the switch axe, and dual blades, please come over to me so I can help you train. If you want the sword and shield, the long sword, or the hammer, go over to Lucy. If you want to learn about the guns, go over to my siblings here. And if you want to learn about the more heavier weapons, you can go over to Lucy's siblings. Every one of the familiars that showed up went over to the people that could train them. I won't explain everyone and what their weapons are. I will explain the people that are gonna show up that I want to be there. 2 weeks later. It's been 2 weeks since the training began with everyone learning about the weapons. A lot of people chose the heavier weapons and everything else, but some of them actually chose the bow guns and as well. For right now, we see 6 people going towards the dungeon. This being Belle. Shit, did I say Isuku again? If I did, there's something wrong with my mind. We see Belle, Lucy, walking forwards towards the dungeon with eight people walking with them. We see 2 people that was right beside Belle and 2 people right beside Lucy. We see 2 women walking forward and stood in front of both of these groups. We see Materia, right? It's Materia. Materia Cranel standing in front of Belle's group, and Alfia standing in front of Lucy's group. Belle, as a member of the Hunters Guild, I will permit you to go into the dungeon and explore till level 5. This is an important mission to open up the dungeon to the upper floors, so some members can go and collect some crystals. Do you understand your mission with your group? Yes, yes, guild member. I understand the mission of our group. Elfie, we turn over to Lucy's group. Elfie stood in front of them and started the same, talk. Lucy, your group has permitted to go into the dungeon and explore to floor 5. You need to explore so everyone can go in and collect crystals to the cities and check out if some monsters has living in the floors. Do you group understand the mission? Yes, guild member, we understand the mission. Both of the women nodded and spoke up. The guild allows you to go to the dungeon and hunt. You have authorized permission to hunt any monsters that is attacking you or anything else. The dungeon monsters are always allowed to be attacked. Do you understand? Both of them said at the same time, we understand, guild member. Good. Be group need to be prepared. Your group need to be prepared. Do you understand? Both of them nodded and said, yes, ma'am. Good. Bell turned around to his team and looked at them. His team being himself, Eyes, and Horrorheim. Yes, Eyes and Horrorheim is in Bell's group. For one, Eyes knows about the dungeon better than Bell and Horrorheim. And Horrorheim has been trained to be a handler of the hunters. So she learned how to do it and do anything else, but she's a trainee, so she has to learn with Bell. Bell that an experienced hunters, but is a rookie adventurer. And Alice that's a rookie hunter, and experienced adventurers. And Lucy's group being her, Tyona, and Lily. Yes, that's kind of a different group. You didn't expect that, did you? And this part, Tyona is the experienced adventurers, Lucy is experienced hunter, and Lily is the rookie handler. Both of them women nodded and walked away from them. But before Miteria left, she hugged Belle and said, good luck, sweetheart. I will, Mom. Thank you. Both of them stopped hawking, and Materia walked away with Althea. Althea also said good luck to her daughter, and both of them walked off. Belle looked at the dungeon and breathed out. Are your group ready? All 7 of them nodded, or all 5 of them nodded. Good. Let's continue. Let's do this. Belle's group walked into the dungeon and walked down into it. The first floor of the dungeon was like a mine area. Belle was surprised how it looked and everything else, but it looks like a things that doctor did have, well, dug the mine, digged, dig the mountain, or dig a mountain, dig a mine. Jesus, let me try this again. It looks like it has been dug out like a mine. Belle looked around to see what was going on here and asked Eyes a question. So it's always looked like a mine on the first floor? Yes. Old stories tell that the monsters dig themselves out of the ground. I see. So that's why the first floor looked like a mine. Yes. Well, anyways, Belle looked at Lucy and talked. Can you go on the right side mine? I will right side hallway. I will go on the left. Sure. Come on. Lucy took her group with her. With her sorry. Lucy took her group with her with Lily sitting on the sacred and with Ruby, I think I called her. It just remember, yeah, I called her. Yeah, I called her Ruby, or what's that? The sacred. I think I called her Ruby, the Palico. Lilith group had Lilith and Tyona underground. Lilith and Tyona underground, walking into the right side of the mine with Lily on, well, Lucy Sacred, sorry. Lucy Sacred with Ruby on the tail end, walking down the right side of the dungeon. Bell started to walk into the left side of the mine with eyes, well, right beside him, with Haruhime on the Sacred with Blackie. They were walking down the hallway. By the way, we won't be talking about Lucy's group in this one. We will only be focusing on Bell's group. Bell's group was walking down the hallway and into the dungeon. So this is how the dungeon works. Bell was walking and looking around, looking at everything that was happening. It's kind of eerie, or kind of quiet. Yes, but that's mostly because of, well, we are higher levels. Most goblins that spawn here aren't that powerful, so they are afraid of us. I see, I see. The group was walking down a little, walking in this tunnel, going through it, and searching around the dungeon, going from one corner and searching their areas, meaning hallways that leads into a circle and everything else. They have to check each fucking corner of the floors to check out what has changed or what is still normal. Bell spotted some plants that should not be in the mine and actually checked them out. He also asked Eyes if is there were plants in the mines. No, not particularly. It's been a while since I've been here. But I say no, not at all. Bell walked over to one of the plants and picked it up. When he saw what it was, he was surprised. Wait, this is a herb. Oh. The plant that makes healing items in Monster Hunters. What is it doing here? It's not supposed to be here. What? It's a plant that makes potions. It's supposed to be not. It's not supposed to grow anywhere in the Crystal Lands. That means probably some of the monsters has some plants on them. And probably has spread it around the dungeon, meaning some of our plants is in the dungeon. Meaning, Harime, can you write this down? Yes, yes, Master Bell. Right, that some of the plants has been notified on the first floor to be one of the plants from the, well, outside of the Crystal Lands, meaning that monsters must have taken some of the plants on their skin, on their, well, fur or something else, has spread it around the first floor for what they can notify. Bell put the plant in the side pocket of his sacred so it could hold it. Bell was walking with the others and looking around. When Bell heard a cracking sound coming from one of the walls in front of them, and what he saw was a green-looking dwarf or palom in front of him with reddish eyes with not a lot of clothes on him. That's a goblin? Yep, that's a goblin. Bell walked over to his sacred and took off his switch axe that he has on his back and pulled out his dual blades. I knew I had to use these dual blades. I'm not gonna use my biggest weapons for so little monsters. Bell walked forward to check out what this goblin was about. When the goblin saw him, he screamed out and rushes towards Bell. When Bell stopped in front of the group and just stood still, the monster jumps up to try to cut or scratch Bell. Bell just made one motion with his right hand, with his right arm, and just cut the goblin. When the goblin landed on the ground, it just stood there for a second before its head just landed on the ground, just dead. Well, that was disappointing. Well, it is the first floor, and you did say you were a level 5. Yeah, I did say that. Anyways, Bell walked over and pulled out his knife, cutting into the goblin and pulling out the crystal, checking it out and seeing if something was different. After Bell pulled the crystal out, the corpse just disappeared and nothing was left behind except the crystal. Hmm. You will say eyes? Well, sorry. Eyes? Belle held out the little crystal for eyes and she walked over to check it out. Is there something wrong with this crystal? Eyes checked the crystal out and said, nope, it's a regular old monster crystal. Alright, that means that nothing has changed with the monsters or the dungeon. In that part. Haruhime, write this down. Yes, Master Bell. Monsters has One monsters has looks like it hasn't been affected by the dungeon being changed by the monsters that has arrived from the other lands. Sorry. It seems like the monsters of the dungeon hasn't been affected by the monsters that the hunters hunt. It seems that the dungeon hasn't been affected or anything has happened to monsters being born in the dungeon. Got it, I write that down, Sir Bell. Master Bell. Good. Bell walked over to Haruhime that took the crystal from, Bell, and she put it in her pouch. Alright, let's continue. They searched around on the first floor and actually found some mushrooms that was around the place as well. Bell notified them that the same kind of mushrooms from the other lands is also there, meaning that, yeah, the monsters definitely had it on their backs or took them with them. Bell collected all of these things, but they haven't spotted any monsters. They have searched around the floors into the bigger areas to the smaller areas. No monsters that they know of from the other lands was on the first floor. Bell was walking into a bigger room when he noticed a crystal sort of thing in the corner, and he recognized it. That's impossible. That cannot be possible. Eyes look confused, and Bell immediately rushes over to check out what it actually is. Oh my god, it's actually that. Bell, what do you mean? It's what we call. I don't know actually what it's called. I really need to search up these things because I'm fucking dumb not looking at the names of everything in Monster Hunter Wild. Bell walked over and. Sorry. Bell stood up and said, this is a vein. It's where we used to get iron, crystals, and everything else from a while around the lands of the wilds, at the wildlands as we call it. But it seems that when the monsters get in here, it the dungeon must has produced this somehow. Like it, like everyone said, the dungeon has a mind of it. The dungeon has a mind of its own. Bell immediately took out his pickaxe, and just hammered into the ore, taking out the ores that he knew that could be used. He checked out the ores, and it was the same ore. He walked back to Eyes and Haruhime and started to talk. Haruhime, can you write this down? Of course. It seems that the dungeon has simulated or, well, manifested the ores from the wilds and other points in the other lands. It seems that the dungeon has, well, makes ores from the other lands in the dungeon, but nowhere else. It seems that the dungeon has made this on its own, without any help. This needs to be researched and checked out the ores that has been taken back to the camp. Harime nodded that she got it all down, and Belle put the ores into the bags of the sacred. Belle and Eyes and Harime was riding around where Blackie smelled something. I can smell some monsters up ahead. It seems like 5 of them. Anything else? Blackie jumps off the tails and rushes forward and smelled the air. No, no monsters we know of. I only recognize the smell of the goblins because of that first one. Alright then. Belle walked forward with Blackie and turned around, well, walked into a hallway to see 5 goblins staying there. Well, standing there. Belle immediately took out his, well, dual blades and walked forwards. Right, the dual blades he's actually using is the default versions. I mean, the newer version of. He's using the iron blades or the metal blades that you get in the beginning of Monster Hunter Wilds. That is the only weapon he uses right now. He only uses his weaker weapons, not more uh, his more OP weapons, because they think it's just gonna be useless. Bells walk forwards with his Bell walked forward with his dual blades and started to attack the goblins. He cuts one of the goblins that immediately saw him in half, making it disappear after he hit the crystal. Bell immediately slashes one of the goblins' head off, and the others he cuts off 2 of its arms. Bell immediately kicks one of the goblins into the roof, and when it drops down, he just had the goblin just slide through the blade, killing it. When Bell got some of the crystals out from the goblins he killed, he actually saw something pretty weird. Bell walked over to one of the goblins he's killed and picked up the 2 arms he cut off. He looked confused and turned to Eyes. Eyes? Why is these arms not disappearing? Eyes looked shocked at this. But Bell, that can happen. What? What can happen? Sometimes, if you're very, very lucky, monsters can drop their body parts. I've only done this once, and that was against a minotaur, and I took its head off. I got its full head, and I got a lot of vals for it. I see. By the way, the currency they're gonna use instead of the monster hunters money is the valas here because they're in a different area, so they're gonna use a different kind of money. Belle walked over and get out a cloth that eyes actually packed for this reason if they actually got very, very lucky. Belle took out a cloth that eyes packed for this reason and packed up the goblin's arms and put it in the sacred bag. Belle picked up the rest of the crystals and walked back, giving the crystals to Haruhime, and she put it into the money pouch they had. After that, they searched around the first floor again. After 10 minutes, they arrived at the entrance to the second floor. There they spot Lucy and her group. Belle walked over to there and asked some few questions. So, did you see the plants that's from the other worlds? Yeah, we saw them. Also some ores that's here. There was a lot on our side. I think we only found one, meaning that that side is more heavily in plants. I think so. We only ran around, found 5 plants on that side. Yeah, we only found 5. Wow, we found around 15 plants there. Got it. So the right side is more ore like. On the left side is more plant like in the dungeon. Got it. Both of them talked and Belle asked if they spotted any of the monsters that hunters hunt, but Lilith said no. It seems like the monsters went down the corridor just straight through to the second. Belle checked out the walls to the second floor and actually see that there were some claws there that has not been well, hasn't been healed by the dungeon, even though it's been 2 weeks. Huh, it seems like the monsters destroyed the dungeon too much. They destroyed the hallways too much that it had to heal. But when we got down, I fought around 6 monsters. How many did you get from the dungeon? Oh, around 4. So the dungeon needs to heal to spawn monsters, and right now it's healing this hallway. As we can see, this is more damage than the others. Yeah, definitely. Belle asked if they got lucky in killing the goblins. Lucy said no, that they just dropped some crystals. Belle smirked and said, well, I got lucky because one of the goblins I killed, their arms didn't disappear. Are you kidding me? Lily actually shouted this out. That is one of the rarest things to happen. Yeah, I said the same thing. Have you ever seen this before? No, not at all. Huh. Oh, sorry. Anyways, let's go down to the second floor and check that out. All of them nodded and walking down to the second floor, and when they arrived, they see, well, Belle actually sees the dungeon has totally changed, but still had a mind like field feeling, but this time the walls wasn't rough or it looks like it has been dug out or anything. It looks like the here this looking mine looking floor was more smoother, more natural look, with smooth hallways, with still some bumps and bruises there here and there, but looks like it hasn't changed. Like it hasn't looked like the rough look of the first floor, but a smoother, more man-made looking floor. All right. Same deal. You go on the right. We're going on the left. Got it. Well, after that, the group split up again and searched around the floors. This again. When they were walking around, they found some more monsters on the floor, but still a low amount of monsters. Now there are stronger goblins, and one or two kobolds Bell was able to fight and get used to how the monsters are. But when they were walking into a room, they heard some huge noise coming from this room. Bell walked forward into it to look around into the room when he spotted a monsters, a one of his monsters, and that monster being Chachacabra. If I'm correct in its pronouncement, it's kind of a hard word to say. Chachacabra, that frog thing. Yeah, Chachacabra, or call it the Cha-Cha monster. When Bell saw the Chachacabra, Bell immediately looked back at his group. Alright, eyes, I want you to take care of this monsters. This monster, this being your first hunter's kill. Okay, I understand. But you have gotten permission to hunt this monster from my mother, that is an official guild. Sorry, Harime, you're still not I know, don't worry. Don't worry, Master Bell. Alright. Bell walks over to the other side of his sacred where his weapons isn't, but took out the long sword that Ice has been training with for a long time, and walked over to give her long sword, being the default sword of Wild's longsword. Alright, I want you to go over and fight it. You have been informed how it does do and everything else, right? Yes, I know. Good. Bell looked around the corner to see the fight, what the Chachacabra was doing. The Chachacabra was fighting some goblins and one kobold that was in the room, and the monsters were killing the kobolds, killing the goblins and fighting the kobold that was kind of annoying to it. Alright, I will deal with the monsters so you don't have to worry. Let's fight the Chachacobra, and I have, and remember, when it starts to chase you with its tongue, play, uh, place a bomb, or when it starts to chase you with its tongue, cut its tongue. That's easier part. Or if you had a bomb on you. A what? It's a complicated thing. Alright, you go first. Ice nodded and walked forwards towards the monsters. The Tachacabra actually spotted Ice first and actually grabbed the kobold and threw it away. The monster screamed at her and started to run towards her, thinking that it was another person that was attacking it. Being true. Ice pulled out her sword and dodges to the side of the left side, the right side of the Chachacobra, and dodging its attack. Ice immediately started to cut its right side as many times as she could. When the Chachacobra raises its left hand and started it to, trying to crush Ice, Ice jumped back to dodge it and immediately started to attack its face. Where when the Tetracrova backed off a little and pulled out its tongue, I started, jumped when the Chacha Kuruba or the Chacha pulls out its tongue and started to run toward Eyes. Eyes actually jumps over the monsters and lands on its back. When Bell saw this, he immediately said, "Use your knife, not your weapon. Make a wound that will hurt it even better. That will make it hurt worse for the monster." Ice nodded and pulled out the hunting knife that she got and started to hit the monster with it on its head. The monster's trying to shake Ice off, but she didn't. Let go. She didn't let go, and when she made a huge enough wound, she pulled out her long sword and started to cut into it. When she did that and actually got it to hit the ground, Ice immediately went over to the right side where it's the right side was up to the air and the left side was on the ground. Ice immediately went over to its stomach and started to cut it. When she was done, she turned around and started to hit its backside of the monsters, making a huge wound on that side as well. When the monster stood up, Eyes immediately started to hit the wound and making the monster hurt even more. When the monster was about to attack Eyes with its fist again, Eyes immediately just cut into the monster's face and splitted the monster's the Chacha monster head's head in half and actually landed on the ground dead. Bell clapped at this actually Bell clapped at Ai's success and congratulated her. Good job. Well, right now we have to take the monster's corpse up to the surface. We do? Yeah, we know that the Chachacobra is down here, or certainly walks around here on the second floor, not on the first floor. So we can inform the guild and the adventurers guild and the hunter guild. Got it. After that, Bell actually puts right. Bell had some rope in his sacred pouch, and put it around the Chachacobra. After that, they dragged the monsters around the cave and searched around to check out anything else. They ran into more into the last monsters from the dungeon that was being a kobold, and Bell just cut it in half, killing it instantly with no drops. With a monster tooth from the kobold with its crystal. After they went towards the third floor entrance, they met up with Lilith group that also had a Chachacobra with them. Oh, so it seems like the Chachacobra is actually around the second floor. Hmm? Ah, you also killed one. Yeah, we should better get up to the surface. Yeah, we should. It's not safe with these monsters tracking around. Yeah, definitely. After that, all of them went over to the first floor entrance and walked up to the surface. When they arrive at the entrance, where they have to walk up to go on the streets or the plaza, they see some hunters and some adventurers from the Ganesha Familia setting up some platforms that can drag the monsters to the surface. When one of the hunters saw them, she smiled and walked over to them. This being name. Ha! I want to make a reference to one of my favorite fucking shows. This being a elf girl with white clothes and black stripes on the body that went down to her white skirt and black leggings. She walked over with a staff in her hand and smiled at the group. This being Firen, one of the most heavily sought out mages in the world, and one of the oldest elves that's ever known to be around the world. So it seems like your group had fun. Yeah, we found out a lot, and we caught some few monsters down there. Freeran walked over to the monsters and checked them out. It's been cut up a lot, and it seems like some of the material fell off. Did you get it? Yeah, we did. Good, good. Freeran checked out the monsters from Bell's group first and said that Bell's group did it good. Did good. Bell shook his head and pointed at Eyes. It was actually Eyes that killed the monster. Oh, your first kill as a monster hunter. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Freeman walked over to the other Chachikroba that was there and actually saw that instead of being cut up in few places, the Chachikroba's, well, one of its legs has actually been cut off and it was on the back of the monsters. And a little cut on the back of the monsters showing that it died from that. Hmm. So who killed this one? Me, I did it. Tyona went over and smiled. Congratulations, your first monster hunter kill. Thank you. Anyways, can I see some of the notes so I can inform? Anyways, we should get the monsters' corpses on the platform. Belle nodded with Lucy as well, dragging the corpses on the lifts, and it was dragged up to the surface. We should better get going. We need to inform the guild and the other gods of your research into how many floors? To the second. That's where we ran into the Chachacobras. I see. Anything else weird? Yeah, actually a whole lot. Bell asked for the notepad from Haruhime, and he showed the notes. We actually found some of the plants from the other lands here in the dungeon with actually ores. Are you sure? I've been down in the dungeon many, many times. This can't be possible. Oh my god, it's actually possible. Yeah, it's so strange. Yeah, this is definitely worth it. Freeran looked at the notes when a blue-haired man that was in his mid 20s and 30s, in his late 20s and into his beginning 30s. Ah, it seems like your group came back well. Oh, Himmel, it's good to see you. Ah, don't worry about that, Bell. Hmm? Freeran, what are you doing? I'm checking out the notes. It's so, so strange. Hmm? Himmel walked over to check out the notes and saw what she meant. Wait, plants? And ores? Yes, meaning that some of the monsters must have taken the plant life into the dungeon. Yes. Himmel looked at Beld and said that and started to talk. But the ores? How? I may have a thought. Speak it, please. Maybe a monster died there that actually is eating the ores and everything else? Possible. Let's go. We need to inform everyone. Bell nodded and the group went up to the surface. After the group went up to the surface, they first went into the guild to inform them of what they have discovered. They informed them that the first floor was kind of normal to the normal dungeon, but some plants has arrived from the other worlds, from the other lands, and some crystal or some ores that has also arrived from the other lands into the dungeon. They informed them there's no actually monsters from the other lands that is down there on the first floor, but on the second they have discovered more plant, more plant in some other areas, and some more ores in some different areas. But they also found that chupacabras has also there's also seemed that chupacabra has been around the floor these 2 weeks. Maybe some they have made that their places to be. The guild thanked them, and Bell and the others turned in all the items they have collected, being their crystals, their drop items, and Bell's goblin hands. When the guild was surprised that Bell got goblin's hands, he asked them what they are used for. The guild advisor they actually have is Ayana, a guild advisor they have to get. Well, Bell groups to Lucy's and Bell's group has. Well, those two are Bell and Lucy's advisor is Aina. So when Bell asks, "What are the goblin arms mostly used for when you get them?" Aina spoke is talked about it. Oh, you see, the goblin skin is actually more worth it than the rest of the items. That's why we actually want some parts of monsters. The goblin skin is used for some more stronger bags that some people carry. They're also used some bags for supporters and everything else. Their skin is actually kind of tougher than cloth and everything else, but it can hold more item and stretch more than regular cloth. I see. So that's why you need them? Yeah, we need them, but it's kind of rare to get. That's why it's kind of high value to get this. So, what are these goblins' arms worth in Ballas? Oh shit. Um, the money in danmachi is 100 for spaghetti, 100, 800 values for spaghetti, right? In Mamiya's bar. So I will say for the Aina's, Aina is speaking to the bell. For the goblin's arms, we can give you 12,000 for them. 12,000? Yeah, deal. Good, thank you. Oh, please, I need to ask, did the guild ever say if you kill one of the land's monster, the other, the hunters, monsters, do you get prizes for that? Because I really want to know for safety's sake. Oh, if a adventurers actually killed a monsters from the hunter's monster. Oh god. If you kill a monster, if you kill a monsters that not a dungeon monster, you have to take that monsters up and turn it into the guild so we can give it to the Hestia Familia that has that money for the monster. I see. I just wanted to know. Never got informed. Oh, that's fine, Belle. Don't worry. Anyways, your team's money will be your team money that you got from the crystals and some of the drop items is gonna be 18,000 dollars. Oh, thank you, Hyena. No, no problem. See you later. Thank you. Bell walked out to the others that was waiting for him. So, how much did our group get? Oh, sorry. How much did our group get? 18,000. That is actually pretty good for your first run in the dungeon, Bell. Yeah, it actually is. How much did you get, Lucy? 7,000. Oh, okay. Don't take that tone with me, Belle. I'm not. Belle, I swear to goddamn Christ. I am swearing to Hestia, not Christ. I'm swearing to Hestia. I will stab you with my sword. But I'm just saying, Belle Cranel, get your ass here so I can stab you. Nope, I'm out. Belle immediately just started running away from Lucy that was chasing him. Get back here! Oh no! The group just watched them run off. Miss, Miss Eyes, should we chase them? Haruhime spoke to Eyes. She just looked at her and said, "Yeah, we probably should." Blackie was just laughing behind Haruhime on the sacred, and all the group started to rush towards Belle and Lucy. After 10 minutes of doing this and having Belle having fun with Lucy, they arrived back at the mansion. When they arrive, they see the corpse of the two corpses of the chupacabras, right? Oh god, did I say it wrong? It's the cha chu ka the two monsters. Belle and Lucy's group saw the two monsters they have killed, and it saw that it has been skinned alive, and the meat and bones has been taken off. Eyes was surprised by this and walked over to Belle and asked a question. Um, why did you take all the meat and bones and everything else off? Oh, that's kind of easy. In the, oh, you were never told? I thought we would have told you guys. Oh, you told me. I think I uh didn't hear that. Oh, oh, that can happen. Don't worry. Well, we use the monster parts and everything of the monsters to make weapons, items, and healing things. We use the skin, bones, and some other things from that can make armor, weapons, and everything else. Same as the bones. The guts that we can use for more. We won't eat the monster's guts and everything else. Don't worry about that. But we mostly use it for oil to lamps or more fire material because the as some all almost all of the monsters has flammable guts. And some of them even have hot guts that we actually use for the forge and is more valuable for them. I see, so you're using all of it to we're using all of it to make armor, weapons, materials, and sometimes we actually use some monsters are actually used to make some materials to make healing items, items we can use, or something else. I see. What about the meat? Oh, um, okay, I can just say it. We actually eat the meat. You do what? Yeah, funny thing. Some of the this monster actually is very edible. It's actually a good meal if you have hunted this. They're actually spawning in a lot of. They're actually more have more members of their species than anything else. So so this if you go into the dungeon, you could probably find two or five every time you go in there. But they repopulate very good. They probably have five children hiding in the dungeon and everything else. It's kind of a weird thing that we actually find. But when the population is low, we leave them alone. After a month or two, we have to kill some of them again. It's a weird thing with this sort of monster. I see. Anyways, L- Belle looked around to find Lucy and Tyona, and actually spotting, just seeing them behind him, just listening to Belle. Oh, there you two are. Did Lily and Haruhime go into the mansion? Yes, they did. They have. They said they were gonna inform the goddess Hestia and the captain or dad. Ah, I see. I see. Anyways, Belle said that they have to go to the smithing area to check out something. When they arrive, they see some actually seeing 100 blacksmith working around the clock, getting some arrows, making some weapons, or they see the 25 smith that was actually in 25 smiths that actually is teaching around 50, so 75 smiths is in the area being taught how to make armor and everything else. Whoa, okay. So the smith has actually taught some few members of the Hephaestus and Gordnew Familia. Huh. So where are we gonna go? Oh, that's easy. Right now you have to get them a lower member so that they can be trained up. You can't take the higher smith. It's just rules. I see. Anyways, who do I got? Oh, you and Tyona. You and Tyona are with me and Lucy. That's why you have the same Smith. I see. I see. Anyways, do here. Uh, you're actually going to. Oh, well, my well, Uncle Sard is a genius. Well, the Smith me and Lucy have is actually the one that's training yours. I see. Anyways, come with me. He's actually in this smithing area. He's in the smithing house. He's in the smithing house 7. Why did why does our trust always choose 7? It's his favorite number. You know that. It's her favorite number. Sorry. It's her favorite number. You know that. Right, right. Anyways, Belle walked over to the smithing area in their familiar home and walked over to the smithing house 7. Belle knocked on it and heard a female voice calling out, "Come in, come in, come in!" Belle smiled at this and walked into the smithing house to see a another reference to another show, but there's no actually character except this one from that show. We see a pink-haired girl, a pink-haired girl with dreadlocks and glasses on her that looks manic as well, having a black sort of tank top on her with black looking pants and a lot of tools around her belt. Her name is May ooh, May Crutzo. A Her family was a former member of the Crutzo line, but actually left the Crutzo line. So she's a May Hatsume, or no, not May Hatsume, May Crutzo, a members of one of the members that left the Crutzo family, uh, when the Sus Familia was still in action. May's parents was a blacksmith of May's parents was a blacksmith to the Sus Familia, but had died around 10 years ago. May is around 16, as a little, well, did I say Belle's age was around eyes, or Belle's age was 16? I think I said that. If I'm wrong, please leave that in the comments. But I will say Belle is around 16. If I have it wrong, please notify me. Then I will change it back. May is around 16, the same age as Lucy and Belle. When May saw that it was Belle and Lucy, she smiled and greeted them. Ah, my favorite two customers. How have you been? How was the dungeon? It was actually fun. It was actually fun, May, but still pretty boring. You didn't find a lot of monsters? Well, we ran into two cobra. I can't say the fucking name. Give me a moment. I got it. Actually, we ran into two monsters that is a chachacabra. Is uh two of our, well, party members. We ran into two chachacabra in the dungeon. Ooh, one of those things. It's a kind of good thing. So who killed it? Oh, Ice and Tyona here did. I see. That means you. Oh, we are the Loki Familia. Ah, sorry about May. She doesn't remember a lot of people names. I can see that. Anyways, you're partnering up with one of your family members, well, of course, so that is their blacksmith for the hunt, or for the monster hunters. I see. Oh, wealthy. Why did you get that name from her? Seriously, it's kind of annoying. They see a red-haired boy walking around the corner and was looking at May, and then looked at the group that walked in. Holy shit, it's the Sword and Amazon. Hello. Welf stood there for a moment looking at them and immediately turned to May. Why are they here? Oh, well, that's because of you're their smith for the hunt. I'm their what? Belle walked forward and stood in front of Welf. Welf Crozo, my name is Belle Cranel. I'm Ice Wallenstein's hunting partner. I'm Ice Wallenstein's hunting partner, and she's here to, well, check out what you can make of the monster, the chocolata we caught. Oh, I see. Well, what weapons? Well, first of all, what weapons do you use mostly? I use a longsword. I use a great sword and a switch axe. And a switch axe. Oh, um, hey, May? Nope, there's no weapons of them. Ah, so it seems like I can only make you armor. Well, what materials do you got? Belle showed the materials they brought in from the outside and showed him what they had. Oh, I see. Hmm. Well, I can make some chest plates and gauntlets from this. Um, two chest plates and one gauntlet and one pants. That is what I can make from this. All right then. Belle turned to Eyes and Tyona and talked. So, which one do you want? I will recommend the chest plate first. I know your armor is perfect for, well, the dungeon, but right now you need better armor for the dungeon. That has changed. So, yeah, I can see that. I got hit by that monster and it really hurts. But luckily I got healed. Yeah, that's luckily for you. Anyways, what do you guys want? Like Wolf said, there's two breastplates. There's one gauntlet and one pants. Who wants what? Hmm. Can I see the armor? Yeah, sure. Wolf took out a menu of took out some papers from the Chupalaka monster and showed them the armors. Right now, you killed a weak one, right? Yeah, it was a weak one. That means these sort of armors. Wolf showed the Cupalat Cupalatas Chuchu Cup Chupter the frog monsters. It's really hard to pronounce and remember. The frog monsters armor and showed them to them, being the male version and the female version. Right, it is the male and female version, right? I mean the frog that is more towards the men and the one that looks more towards the women. Tyone chose her well breastplate or the shirt, the body, ah, the helmet, the gloves, the legs, the belt, the shirt. Tyona chose the frog female version of that armor, that crop top, and she chose the gloves. Ooh, let me just look up the armor of Monster Hunters. There, got it. Armor. There. Meh. Yeah. Tyona chose the female-looking level one Chupulaka ma- male ma Eagle. What is that armor piece called? The breastplate armor to that monster. Tyona chose that, and all right, sorry. I it's kind of hard to say what is male and female this kind of armor is because you can get it as male and female. But Tyona chose the crop top, meaning the one that is most likely gonna go on the female characters. She chose that one and chose the female version of that, the gloves, to her. I chose the crop top as well with the female legs. The one that looks has, you know what I mean. If you know, I will not find the armor on the screen. That will just be very annoying for me. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Um, like I said, both of them chose the crop top. I chose the female version of the pants, and Tyone chose the female version of the glove. When Welf got that, he nodded and said, "It will probably take a day or two to make. So yeah, I got your order, and I will make it as soon as possible. I'm still in training, so you know we understand. Don't worry, we do understand that. All right, thank you. Come down, come tomorrow if you want to go down to the dungeon again, or something else. We got it. Thank you, Wealth. Thank you very much, Mr. Crotzo. Mr. Wealth is better than Mr. Crotzo. All right then, Mr. Wealth. Thank you. All four of them walked out of the smith and walked over to the sacred where Ruby and Black was on Bell's sacred, just having a little fun, just doing the patty cake on the sacred. All right then, that was the first day. So how was it? It was fun. It's funny to go down to the first floors and explore them and see what has changed in these, well, 2 weeks. It has, hasn't it? Anyways, you should probably go back home. You must inform your captain and everything else. Of course, thank you. All right, see you tomorrow. Oh, remember, we don't go into the dungeon tomorrow. It's in 2 days. We go back into the dungeon. The Freya Familias members need to also see. We go in around um tomorrow is Freya. The next day is takes Familia. So in 3 days we'll go back into the dungeon. That is our time to go. All right. All right. See you later. See ya. Goodbye. After some few hours, Bel Cranel went into his room and laid down on his bed, looking well towards the door. He thought about what happened today. The monster is changing the dungeon for what the older members of his familia has told him. Change in the dungeon means something will happen. Maybe something bad. Bell didn't know what's gonna happen, but he knew that anything else, he had a secret weapon of his sleeve, on his sleeves, or in his sleeves. How you pronounce it? Bell looks over to his armor. The black-looking wolf fox armor he had on display by his side. Bell walks over to it and put it on the mask on his face. Bell could feel something from the mask. He could feel something very useful for anything he will do. And this is where I'm gonna end the episode. Hope you guys will enjoy it. Good morning, goodbye, farewell, see you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time, all my masks. Or the watchers of my videos. And Have a lovely day. Good morning, goodbye, farewell, see you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. Bye bye.